What's up again, everybody? So you probably saw the news. You've probably seen the news that perhaps the most prominent YouTube content creator for the game of Magic the Gathering is going to be releasing a spoiler video for a card from the Monarch set. And if you didn't see that news, well, spoiler alert, that's going to happen. And not only is that going to happen, but he also mentioned that he wanted to make a how to play video for the game. And so it's time to talk about what that means and what this could possibly mean for the game going forward. I'm really excited to talk about this today because it's something that I was actually going to make a video on before the announcement that came out. I guess, when did the video release? It was like yesterday, right? I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Before that video even came out, there was this video I had planned on making, and it was a video that was essentially going to talk about public perception of Flesh and Blood and what that means for the game currently and what it could mean for the game going forward. And I think this happening is literally the perfect time to talk about this, because this could be completely game changing. Pun intended, no pun intended. I don't know. Throw the pun in there. Tolarian Community College is a YouTube channel dedicated to making not Flesh and Blood content. That'd be amazing. No, dedicated to making Magic the Gathering content. And Magic the Gathering has a new set coming out that is themed around a magical college or a magical school. And so obviously there's this really interesting tie-in to this Tolarian Community College YouTube channel run by a guy that goes by The Professor, who I've actually watched a ton of his videos. I really enjoy watching his videos, actually, even though I don't play much Magic the Gathering. It's just interesting to listen to someone talk about something they're super passionate about. And so that's why I've kind of watched his YouTube channel for, I guess a couple years now. Anyway, so he posted a video most recently. If you haven't seen the video, I'll put it in the description. He posted a video talking about 5 cards from their new, university set, magical university set, that he thinks are going to be good in the modern format of Magic the Gathering. And right before he announced the last one, his top pick, which was, I think, a tie, actually, his top pick, he said that he was not salty at all about the fact that Wizards of the Coast, the owners, or I guess the game managers, whatever, the creators of Magic the Gathering, didn't give him a spoiler card, which is just strange because it's a Magic the Gathering set about magical college, and he was literally a college professor that now runs a college-themed YouTube channel about the game, and they didn't even give him a card that said, like, Professor Says. Okay, that was the video, and it is absolutely ridiculous that they didn't, but I don't know their business, so I'm not going to speculate as to why they wouldn't do that. I do think on face value it just seems really misguided, but, maybe there's something else there. Nevertheless, and he does this sometimes in some of his videos, or actually in a lot of his videos, he gets really salty towards WotC or Wizards of the Coast, and it's honestly it's just thoroughly enjoyable to watch because the dude is absolutely in love with Magic, and it's so wonderful to see him so passionate about the game and to speak so eloquently about being passionate about the game in so many different forms and facets. And then he just absolutely goes off on WotC for totally destroying the game in the ways that he hates. And that is really fun to watch, which is one of the reasons why I watch so much of his stuff. But he does that at the end of this video, and he says it doesn't make any sense why he wasn't given a spoiler. And eventually he says that, Flesh and Blood is releasing a new Monarch set. Spoiler season starts this day, this day, this day. I'm going to spoil a card, and oh, look, I got to go make a how to play video to teach you how to play this fantastic game. In the traditional, like, the professor kind of, like, it's just smothered with, like, smug, like, glee and sarcasm. It's wonderful. It's a fantastic video. You should go watch it. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. Okay, if you have watched it, now we should talk about why this is a huge thing. Now, first of all, it is not uncommon for card game companies, to go out of their community and give spoiler cards to non-community content creators, like large content creators. That is not uncommon at all. In fact, it's a really smart idea in general. Now, whether or not they, approached him and said, hey, we have a spoiler video or a spoiler card for you to talk about, and then you can make a video about it, or if they said, hey, we have this card and we'd also like you to do this other content if you'd be interested. Whether it's one or the other, it doesn't really matter, because the fact that he's talking about making a how to play video is huge for the game. And here's why. There's a real importance to public perception when it comes to card games. And really, I guess when it comes to a lot of things. Public perception is a huge influencer for people, trying your game out in general. If someone sits down with you and says, hey, there's a new card game, you use a character and your opponent uses a character and you throw attacks at each other and it's pretty fun. You might be like, sweet, okay, that sounds interesting. I might be interested in that. And then someone comes by and says, oh, you're talking about that game Flesh and Blood. Oh, that game is incredibly expensive. That single sentence from some random person can do so much for the public perception of the game, right? And if the only buzz and hype for Flesh and Blood is about the investability of the game, then you're only going to really be pulling and tugging on a certain subset of the community and drawing those people in, which is why so many content creators that I really admire and appreciate are really heavily trying to invest in talking about gameplay and deck techs and things like that. Because if you can talk about why the game is fun to play, then people will want to try playing the game. If you can talk about why the game is great to invest in, then people will want to invest in the game. But if you don't have one and you only have the other, then you start to lose a subset of people. And I was worried. This is something that I was thinking about, and this is what I was going to make the video about. I'm worried that public perception of Flesh and Blood is only that it's an investable product and not a fantastic game to play. Because honestly, here's the thing. It is a fantastic game to play, but if enough people think it's not because they haven't tried it, or because their perception of the game is clouded by only the one thing of like, hey, this is an investable product, then you lose the possibility of changing people's minds. It's much harder, I guess, is the better way to say that. It's harder to change people's minds, right? And so here we have, in this moment where we're going to have a set that is, in the community, incredibly hyped up already about the way that it's going to fundamentally flush out how the game is going to be played going forward. This is sort of the full deliverance of what Flesh and Blood is. On the cusp of spoiler season beginning, we get this news that one of the most prominent content creators for Magic the Gathering in all forms and facets. He makes things about all the different formats, videos about all the different formats. He does podcasts with people talking about the state of the game and talking about powerful decks and cards, not just about the investability of the product. On the news that we are on the cusp of us having this crazy set that's going to be amazing, we get news that this YouTube channel wants to produce not only a spoiler video, but a how to play video. This is absolutely game changing. If it's even just one single video about how to play the game, that how to play video will very quickly be the #1 Flesh and Blood YouTube video on the format, on YouTube, period, end of story. Let's compare. Okay, so if you didn't know, I made a how to play Flesh and Blood video back in December 2019. And I'm just going to go pull up the data for it. How to play. There we go. How to play Flesh and Blood. So the video I made at the end of 2019 has, posted for a year and a little bit at this point. The video that I've created for the game, which I think is pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, it's maybe it's not the best thing. Maybe it needs updating. I don't know. Someone said that it might need updating. It's 25,618 views. and that is by far the most viewed video on my channel. Okay, that video produced by Tolarian Community College, a how to play video, will get that in like I would guess like a less than a day. I would imagine that the view count for a Tolarian Community College how to play Flesh and Blood video would get that many views in less than a day to a day, which is bonkers. Now, I could be off on that. I could just be totally off on that. But I really do believe that that number would shoot up way past the views of my little video so quickly. And what does that mean? More exposure for the game from the perception point of gameplay. And again, this is not to talk down to the idea of investability, because I think Legend Story Studios is right in thinking that it's important to cater to, or think about things in the way of just trying to pull as many people together into one community as possible, right? So you want to cater to the investability of the product, because it pulls in people that enjoy investing in things and having value, right? And you want to cater to people who enjoy playing games with people that they just meet, or with people in the flesh and blood, because you want a player base for your game. I mean, that's oftentimes why you create a game, is because you want people to play it, right? You want all of these people to come together under one community. And the fact that we have Rudy in Alpha Investments, who's sitting at that, I think, didn't he just cross over 300,000 subscribers? I think he did, right? I'm gonna check, because I don't want to discount him. I literally have him right here because I was watching his video earlier, which was hilarious as well. Yeah, 311,000 viewers, because he's hovering there, and he's sort of the I guess I don't want to say a maidenhead. He's kind of like the maidenhead of a boat, right? I mean, you know how they put the maidenhead on the front. He is the maidenhead of the portion of the community that is all about investing, because that is kind of that's his cup of tea, right? And then there's this possibility that Tolarian Community College, with almost 600,000 subscribers, can provide some level of content, even if it's just semi-regularly, some level of content towards this game from a player or a format perspective, or even like an accessories and that sort of thing perspective. The fact that this is a possibility means huge things for the game with regards to growth, and particularly growth for the player base. And that's why I'm so interested in this announcement. I'm sure you guys are too. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below about what you think about this announcement in general. I am very curious to see how this is going to grow the game going forward. I don't for any reason see this being a detriment to the game. And in fact, I should say this before I sign off. I think this has far-reaching impact on the perception of Flesh and Blood towards other content creators, maybe from Magic the Gathering, or really from just about any other collectible game, Pokemon, that sort of thing. The fact that a prominent content creator for Magic the Gathering has even entertained the idea in video form of creating content for this game makes other people go, I wonder if there's untapped market potential there. Maybe I could make content for this game. And then you have the possibility of seeing just this influx of content creation from really, really popular YouTube content creators, Twitch content creators, that sort of thing. If I had my hope on who I'd like to see produce content for this game, here you go. So we have Alpha Investments, okay, that is producing content for the game. We have Noxious, who's produced a ton of content for the game and really has done a ton for the community as far as getting new players into the game, and he's awesome. I would love to see Day 9, and this one may be too far out there, I don't know. I'd love to see Day 9 produce some sort of content for this game. If you don't know who Day 9 TV is, Day 9 TV is a StarCraft commentator way back in the day, and he's like I don't know the best way you would describe him. He's an internet personality who's just a fantastically positive person who is also just dead in love, just absolutely passionate about Magic the Gathering, just like the professor from Tolarian Community College. And in fact, he's so prominent in Magic the Gathering community that he makes commercials for Magic the Gathering Arena, which was crazy. I didn't even know. I've watched like Day 9 since I was in college, and I saw him in a commercial. I was like, dude, he's like hanging out with Danny Trejo and I forgot the other dude's name. But that was crazy, and I would love to see him try the game out and make some sort of content for it. That would be absolutely phenomenal, and that would be amazing to see from an exposure standpoint. Those are the kinds of things that I would love to see that move being made. Is like, hey, bring on more content creators from other games, genres, things like that, and just let them experience this game. If they like card games, let them experience it, and maybe they just latch onto it, and maybe we all grow better and bigger and have more fun because of it. So that's how I feel about this whole thing. I would love, like I said, to know what you think. Let me know in a comment below. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.